Welcome back to the channel, everybody. It's Mr. BK Farmer. So right now we are in week 3 of the flower stage. And as you guys can see, I was able to fill this whole tent up. You can see all the bud sites that was at the lower part of the canopy. You can see everything starting to come up right here. And for that lower growth, I'm gonna be removing a lot of that lower growth down there today. And as you guys can see on this plant as well, I was able to train this girl out a whole lot. And remember, like I told you guys last week, I still was gonna be training this girl over as they go through week 2 of the flower stage. And these girls are still stretching a whole lot, but I'm not gonna be doing any more training. Yesterday was my last training. All I'm gonna be doing today is removing a lot of that growth at the bottom. Cause remember, like I told you, for this one, I want all the energy going straight up to these top nodes. You can see all these buds right here is developing nice. Everybody is stacking up. I did a good job on this one, y'all. I just hope this girl continue to finish up real good. So what I'm gonna be doing today is removing a lot of that lower growth. And as you guys can see, right under here, basically what I'm gonna be doing is removing a lot of these things like this right here. I'm gonna remove this because it's not gonna be reaching up to the canopy. It's not gonna make it up here where everybody else is at. As you guys can see, that branch is way down there. And a lot of things that's way down there with that branch, I'm gonna be removing. So that's what I'm gonna be doing right now. And remember, just like last time, y'all, I told you, you could just remove a lot of these little nodes right here with your hand, with your finger, because they kind of flimsy. So I just usually bend that off and take these little nodes off like this, because they're not gonna amount to nothing. It's just gonna be a bunch of loft. So that's what I'm gonna be doing. Matter of fact, let me get my my scissors so I can chop that bigger branches. Because remember when I told you, I told you when these branches is a little bit more thicker, I want to use my my little snips. So let me get you guys in there a little bit better so you can see exactly what I'm doing. So like I said, this branch right here, I'm gonna just come all the way in and I'm gonna take that whole branch off. And I'm actually not using anything for clones because I already have enough clones. So I'm just gonna get rid of anything at the bottom. And a lot of this growth right here, just show you guys. There's a lot of growth under here I'm gonna be removing. So this right here, gonna remove. And also I'm gonna be removing a lot of these lower leaves because it's kind of crowded down here and I wanna get more airflow. So I'm gonna remove a lot of these leaves under here. And there's a lot of growth on this stem. As you guys can see, we got some nodes right here. Got another node right here. I'm gonna remove everything right here. I'm gonna remove everything under here until I reach the top of the canopy because I only want a few nodes on this branch. So being that this stem right here is not super thick, I know it's not gonna be fattening up all those buds. So right now I'm just gonna continue removing all these lower nodes because as you can see, look, it's not even developing properly. I don't know if I could focus. As you guys can see, it's not even as developed as the top part of the canopy. So I'm gonna be removing all those nodes coming down that stem. I want this stem to be nice and clean down here. I want all the growth to be right here at the top. Everything down here is in the dark. It's not gonna get a nice amount of light. So I'm gonna remove all of these leaves. And another thing I'm gonna be doing to these girls is top dressing because I can tell that they looking for a lot more nutrients. So I'm gonna be top dressing these girls today. So as you guys can see, that stem right here is nice and clear. I cleaned everything up. And I'm also gonna take this leaf, this little node under here. I don't know if you guys can see it. There's another node right under here. I'm gonna remove that as well. I'm not gonna remove too many leaves. I'm gonna leave a lot of these leaves I'm just gonna be removing all those nodes at the lower part of this canopy. Trying to get you guys a good view. But that's all I'm gonna be doing right now, just removing a lot of these lower leaves and a lot of nodes under here, just to get some good airflow and to send that energy straight up to the top of the canopy. But I'm not gonna take too many leaves. I'm actually gonna make a level to where, like right here, I'm gonna leave all my leaves. I'm not gonna take too many leaves off. But that's all I'm gonna be doing today, y'all. Just cleaning this girl up. Making sure the stem is nice and clear down there. All that energy going straight to the top. So I'm gonna finish these girls up, y'all, and I'm gonna show you how these girls is looking once I'm done. Okay, y'all, I finished trimming up everything at the bottom of these girls, and as you can see, I left a lot of the leaves, especially the leaves on the outside. I'm actually gonna leave those leaves on the outside probably until the end of the grow, because like you can see here, these are the first indicators of a nitrogen deficiency. So at the bottom leaves will be the first ones to show you that sign, where it'll go from green and you'll start seeing it fade to that lime green, and then it's gonna start turning yellow. So this is one of the reasons why I said I was gonna top dress these girls, and I actually top dressed them already. So for that top dressing, like I always use, the down to earth, I use 1 tablespoon per gallon of the 484. And for this 7-gallon pot, I use 7 tablespoons, and I use 1 cup of the worm castings. And for the 3-gallon pots, I use 3 tablespoons of the 484 and half a cup of worm castings. And like I told you guys before, I use the wiggly worms, worm castings. And like I said, this have all the nutrients and amendments that the plant gonna need to help break down the nutrients that I just put in here. Like I told you guys before with the organic nutrients, this nutrients has to be wet in order for the plant to start uptaking the nutrients. So this is why once I gave this plant the 7 tablespoons of the 484, I watered this girl down with, I think it was 2 liters of water, or no, 1.5 liters of water. I added to the 7-gallon pot, and I put 1 liter of water inside the 3-gallon pots. And as you guys can see at the bottom, that was just enough to get this soil nice and moist at the bottom. So I know for sure that this whole pot is saturated. And right now I'm just gonna let these girls heal up from this defoliation, because as you guys can see, I took a lot off of these stems. Everything goes all the way up to the top, and that's where I stopped. I only want all the growth at the top so I can get 100% of that light. I'm actually gonna show you over here as well on the sour diesel. You can see here, there's nothing on the bottom, and I left the last 3 nodes at the top. So this should give me some nice nuts at the top of these canopy. You can get a better view on this plant right here. This is also a sour diesel. You can see that I got those 3 nodes right there. All of those nodes should connect right together. I also left a few down here. I want to see what those could do. But you can see I only left the last 3 nodes. Some of them 1 or 2 nodes, because I don't want nothing growing at the bottom. I still have to clean up the canopy a little bit, but I'm happy with everything right now. I don't want to put too much stress on these girls. Like I said, we're in week 3 of flower. So as you can see, once I gave these girls that water, the leaves are starting to bounce back up because these girls was drying out a little bit. I just wanted to wait until I could bring this video to you guys before I gave it that water. But everybody is coming up nice. You can see them buds is developing nice on these plants. You can also see I defoliated over here as well. I removed a few nodes down there. So now you can see it's only those last 3 top nodes at the top. I did it to a lot of these branches. I left the last 3 nodes at the top. So I know I should be getting a nice harvest off of this one right here. I also did it to this one as well. But this one, the Tropicana cookie, it got a lot of stacking. That's one thing I could say about this plant right here. So I got about 4 nodes coming up right here. So I decided to leave those because those right there is gonna connect all together. If you guys could get a good shot right there. I also did the same thing over here. I removed a lot of that growth. I'm actually gonna remove that down there as well because you guys can see that right there is not gonna be able to densen up. Everything need enough light in order for it to start densing up. I'm starting to notice that from my past grows. So I just want to show you guys that I did remove a lot of that growth at the bottom. So right now I'm just gonna let these girls finish up. I gave them the food. That's gonna be their last top dressing. That should take them all the way to the end. And I'm telling you guys, this one looked like it's gonna be a big one. But you guys can see I was able to fill that whole tent out. Everything is looking good in here, y'all. So just stay tuned for week 4 at the flower stage, and I'm gonna keep you guys updated. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. It's Mr. BK Farmer.